I made my 18-year-old take the fall for a robbery he didn't commit. Then I abandoned him at a bus station with one duffel bag. 13 years later, I begged him to help keep his brother out of prison, and he said no like it was nothing. My younger son was 16 and golden. Sports, scholarships, teachers calling him a great kid. My older son was 18 and already the family problem. Mouthy, impulsive, a couple petty charges. In our small town, reputation wasn't a rumor. It was a sentence. One night, my younger son and his friends assaulted and robbed a man. The victim left in an ambulance. Police showed up fast. When we heard, my brain didn't go to right or wrong. It went straight to damage control. A lawyer friend explained how the system would see it. One son was a minor with potential. The other was an adult with a record. If the younger one got charged, his future was ash. If the older one did, people would shrug and say, figures. So we chose. We pressured my older son into confessing. We called it responsibility. We called it protecting his brother. Really, it was a squeeze until he broke. After the court date, we drove him to the bus station. He sat behind me, silent, knuckles white on his knees. I handed him a cheap duffel and kept staring forward. Then I said, we're not ruining 2 lives to save 1. Next, I told him not to contact us again. He stepped onto the curb, looked through us, and walked away. The town buzzed, then moved on. My younger son stayed good because we kept scrubbing. A fight here, a busted fence there, money paid, apologies made, everything kept quiet. I told myself it was parenting. My spouse told themselves it was temporary. My older son vanished. Years went by with nothing but scraps from mutual connections. New name, new city, married, kids, a technical business that actually worked. Every update felt like a door locking. Then my younger son got arrested again. Adult charges, real violence. His lawyer said prison was almost guaranteed. That's when we reached out to the son we'd thrown away, expecting him to understand that family is family. He answered calm and flat. No, he said, you already chose. I drove to his workplace, thinking I could at least talk face to face. I walked in quiet. Security blocked me before I got 10 steps. They escorted me out like I was a threat. My son never came out, not even to glance at me. That humiliation would have been enough, but it got worse. I learned my spouse had been in contact with him for months. They also knew our younger son was spiraling again before I did. I was the last to know, and it didn't feel accidental. Anger made me reckless. I messaged my older son's wife, thinking she'd only heard his version. She replied like this was old news. She knew the robbery, the confession, the bus station, all of it. She told me any further contact would go through lawyers. Then old reports started circulating online, court documents, statements. People stopped asking what my younger son did back then. They started asking how my older son ended up confessing. The victim's family spoke up publicly, furious, and I couldn't even blame them. My older son posted a statement under his new name. No insults, no theatrics, just facts, lined up like bullets. He ended with one sentence that changed everything. Silence only ever protected other people. After that, my life didn't unravel. It snapped. A lawyer I didn't hire started asking me for timelines. My job became a mutual separation. Prosecutors painted my younger son's new case as a pattern we enabled for years. The sentence came down long, and my younger son wouldn't look at me in court. Within a week, my spouse moved out with boxes, a note, and their own lawyer. Friends I'd known for years went quiet. Invitations stopped. At the grocery store, people held eye contact a second too long, then looked away. Everyone acted like I'd been the only adult in the room 13 years ago. Like my spouse hadn't agreed. Like my younger son hadn't benefited. Like my older son hadn't paid. The house got quiet in a way that felt unnatural. I sent one last message to my older son. I didn't ask for help. I just acknowledged it went farther than I ever intended. He replied once. He said he'd forgiven me in the sense that he no longer carried anger. Then he made it clear forgiveness didn't include reconciliation. I used to think the hard part was making the hard choice. I was wrong. The hard part was learning you never stop paying for it.